not going to waste too much of your time. But I just wanted to say welcome to everybody. Please have a wonderful time with the one and the only legendary Mavis Staples.
Rad, what up? You already know how I felt about this one. Shout out to the Stone.
Pick up sticks and counting cars, counting bricks, driving.
Shout out if you leaving. Don't drink the water in Mexico. We got two Mexico guests coming very, very soon. They're ready to go. We're going to hear from fans that just experienced this show. Woo! All right, all right, all right. What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz34. We are set to go. I'm going to play the intro, and then after the intro, we're going to get straight to the people that are in Mexico right now that I have the pleasure of interviewing to see their reactions to what is definitely a special and unique show for the first night of festivities out there. Special guests, covers, Big Eye Fish opener, two-step encore closer. Y'all gonna enjoy this. Stay tuned. But for now, y'all already know we gotta get that intro going, and then we'll get to the guests. It's your boy Conserviz34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz34.
Yep, so your boy Conserviz34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Conserviz34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28th, 1998. And if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years. Tonight.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play.
Monterey, what up? Guadalajara, what up? Guatemala City, what up? Antigua, what up? Tijuana, what up? Tim Reynolds on acoustic guitar only. What up? No Bayou tonight. What up? It's midnight on the East Coast. 11 p.m. Central Time. 10 p.m. in the Mountain Time Zone. And 9 p.m. on the West Coast. Don't forget to hit that like button. What up, what up? It's your boy ConcertViz34. Thank you guys for joining. We are here a little later for a city, Cancun, that has aligned itself with the Eastern Time Zone. But of course, we have openers for Dave and Tim, and then they do start their set a little later. So thank you guys for joining. Let's pull that set list up. And what we're also going to do is bring two of our guests on from Cancun. And I really respect this because, listen, a lot of people right now in Cancun, they wasted, they tipsy, right? And my two guests, they decided to take time to say, listen, I got to get to that post-show stream. No matter what I do, I got to be ready. I got to be focused. And they're taking time away from their vacation to be here. And we're going to cut right to them because they know best what happened at this show. So we got Kumi DMB and Mile High Dad, aka Shane, coming in. I'll bring him in here. How you guys doing?
So Marcus, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
It is going well, guys. Let me know if there's any echo in the chat. But we got some awesome people here. So let's start off with Kumi, recently married, right?
Yep, that's true. Married man now.
You signed the contract, and congratulations on that. What was it like to be here tonight in Cancun for this first night of Dave and Tim?
It's been awesome, man. Mexico is like a special place, you know. Like you meet so many different Dave fans that from all different walks of life. It's really cool. I actually met somebody tonight who grew up in a town like across, like probably like a mile away from where I grew up, and he went to a rival high school, and we had to come all the way to Mexico to meet each other. It's pretty crazy, man.
Wow.
It's been awesome.
Shane, aka Mile High Dad, with the tie-dye on. With the tie-dye on. If you guys don't know, what's the name of the store?
Angie's got an Etsy store, Gray Street Mama.
Gray Street Mama. They give away tie-dyes on Twitter. Follow Mile High Dad. He's in Mexico yet again. He's a vet at this point. What was it like to be here tonight?
This was a lot of fun. I mean, this was just a fun first night, opening weekend. It's a hot day today. I think I sense that in the crowd tonight versus other years past. Night one tends to be a bit more alcohol fueled, louder talking during Tim getting his time to play. And boy, my section, we're I'm gonna say halfway between soundstage and the stage, and everybody was very respectful, very quiet for almost the entire show. Yeah, it was a great vibe tonight. Really good.
So you less chompers tonight. People weren't chatting it up as much.
No, I mean, my section was really quiet. Everybody was so attentive. No story this year about shh, be quiet. No anything. If anything, Dave was mostly self-deprecating about feeling old in his knee, and it was really funny. He really kind of like had this theme all show where he just took a deep breath, like, well, I'm getting older, and it was funny. But yeah, I can't speak for the whole venue, but man, nowhere around us was being disrespectful and loud during the show.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet in my section too. I just the only thing I will say is during Tim's songs, people were definitely talking. I mean, the second song that Tim did, like everyone was talking. It was like kind of,
it did get a little,
Yeah.
But
okay.
Compared to years past, tonight was really, I felt more mellow. And again, I thought today was really a hot day. Started out hot in the merch line, and oh my gosh, the temperature went right up. So yeah, I think a lot of people really felt the day, really felt the sun, felt the whatever they were partying with around the pool all day and in the water. And then there was a poolside show today, this afternoon, after a merch swap. So the day was busy. And if you were out there all day in the sun doing some of the activities or wanting to go to just see this poolside show, I mean, if you're out there in the sun all day, Dave and Tim, I'd like to see the time on it, but did they play almost 3 hours tonight? I mean, man, it definitely, by the end of the show, you could see the crowd was just like, I need to get back and get some sleep, rehydrate.
So 24 total songs tonight. Again, we're talking here at midnight. This is an Eastern time zone alignment that Cancun did more for extra sunlight. They should be Central time zone, but they moved themselves to the Eastern. So yeah, this is definitely a later night. And so they start off with Big Eye Fish here. We just saw from your IG, Kumi, the little bit of that performance. What was it like to experience such a unique opener, the first time that we've gotten a Big Eyed Fish opener from Dave and Tim? What was it like?
Kumi.
He might be okay, yeah, I think he is frozen. Shane, what was it like?
It was awesome. Crowd reacted incredible. Like, yes, what a way to start the show. Come right out. Fantastic. It was really good. And, I mean, it looked like Dave and Tim were pretty excited to get on stage and start jamming too. It sounds like Dave's been here for a good 2-3 days. Commented a little bit about how much he's been eating, and, so, I mean, got the vibe when they came out. They were ready to jam and have a good time tonight.
Okay. And so the first half of this show, we have, Big Eye Fish, Grace is Gone, Best of What's Around. Can't Find My Way Home, Lion Our Graves, Old Dirt Hill, Cortez. What stood out to you in these first 7 songs?
Really. I have to scroll. Let me see again. I got the set list here. Grace was great. Boa. Can't Find My Way Home. Correct me if I'm wrong. Steve Winwood. I'm not sure if that's Traffic or the band prior to Traffic. Fantastic. First time I've ever heard him sing it. Wow. I don't think the whole crowd kind of picked up on it at first. Like, maybe I've heard this on the radio. I'm not quite sure who sings it. But yeah, I've seen Traffic, Open for the Dead back in '93. Original Traffic with Steve Winwood. So I thought it was pretty good. Even if it's not, I don't know. Like I said, it might be Steve Winwood's song prior to Traffic, but I know, oh my God, what a song. So good.
So it's a song, and listen, I did some research on it. This is just online, but it's written by Steve Winwood that was first released by Blind Faith on their self-titled album. So it looks like he was vocals, guitars, and keyboards. Eric Clapton played guitar. Rick Grech is bass guitar, and then Ginger Baker on drums.
Super group.
Back,
I mean, God, can you imagine?
yeah. But definitely a unique and special treat there. I don't think anyone came into the weekend thinking you were going to get that cover. And then let's go over to Cortez. Kumi, what was it like to get Cortez with Jason Isbell, who's never guested in a Dave and Tim format or full band format?
Cortez was awesome. I've been chasing that for a while. Obviously, we usually hear with Warren Haynes, but Jason did a great job. I mean, he's a great musician, and they definitely brought the energy for sure on the electric guitar. I think he might have missed the cue later on in the song, but I guess that happens every year in Mexico, right? Somebody misses the cue, but it was still a great song, and they played it really well.
That's awesome. And we get Dave on the keys, Death on the High Seas. What was that like, Shane, to get Dave on the piano?
Oh man, I mean, and he played it so good tonight. First came a little speech, I mean, Dave wants to let you know that things aren't right in the world, and he's got a platform, and love wins over hate, and he wanted to express some emotional thought tonight before it, and it was beautiful. I mean, I felt like he kind of took his time with it and played it, and it sounded good and crisp. The piano, yeah, I mean, because he talks about, I can't play piano, I can play one key, but man, it sounded wonderful tonight. And yeah.
And I'm going to go to a graphic here, because one of the things that you get in Mexico is sometimes you get stuff that translates to the full band that year. Sometimes it does not. So we had last year, Death on the High Seas was played full band. But this was one of the songs that played Dave and Tim in Mexico, but it did not make it to the full band in any form. But on the flip side, we got our first Virginia in the Rain full band play since 2018. Bismarck actually was played in 2018 and 2022, and we get it full band in 2023. Kumi, is this a song, Death on the High Seas, you would want to see in a full band setting after hearing it tonight with Dave and Tim?
It'd be interesting to see like how the band does it. It's not particularly like one of the songs I'm chasing or dying to hear, but I mean, it was a solid song tonight, and I mean, I'd welcome to see it full band. I'd be welcome to seeing that.
Yeah, and what's interesting, we have Buddy Strong, and even I think of A Dream So Real, I think of some other songs with piano, even like an Out of My Hands, where you could have Buddy play that and Dave could focus on the vocals. But it seems like some stuff is going to stay Dave and Tim. Some stuff just doesn't make it to the full band. End of the show, we get Gravedigger, Walk Around the Moon, The Stone, Samurai Cop, Monsters, Nancy's. I'll back you up. Tim song, what would you say? Warehouse. The end of this set list, anything stand out to you, Shane?
You know, did we talk about the weight, or did we just? I'm sorry, dude. It's been a really long day.
We can get to that. We can get to that in a
Okay.
second. We'll get to that
Okay.
special singing.
The Stone is just a fan favorite now. I mean, everybody loves it. As soon as they start to hear Timmy masterfully play that guitar, and let's just point out how masterful this guy is on the guitar. Every time I see him, he's doing more things. He's adding percussions. He's beating the drum. He's adding, he's evolving every time I see him. He's getting so damn good every time, and you think, oh, the guy's a genius. And then you see him next time, and you're like, oh my God, look what he's doing with his guitar. So yeah, I mean, the Stone was really, the crowd was in love. And Nancy's brought the crowd up. Everybody loved Nancy's. That was a wonderful jam tonight. Yeah, back you up. What would you say? Got everybody up. Warehouse to close. Yeah, solid show tonight. More. Let's just say more non-deep cuts on night one than in years past. However, offset with just mind-boggling guest performances and wonderful covers. I mean, just so you can say, oh, I didn't get maybe some of these really deep, some devil cuts that I'm hoping on night one that maybe we got in years past. And that's all right, because what we got tonight has never happened before. So, I mean, yeah, it's a wonderful trade-off, and I'll take it every year.
Yeah, I'll add, I think Nancy's was like the loudest song. The crowd loved Nancy's. I feel like I was when the crowd was the loudest around me. I'll also say I was going through when the show started, I was like, they haven't played any Some Devil songs for a while. Like they started, I think like Gravedigger like 7th, maybe a little later. But for a while, there was no Some Devil songs at all played. And I was like, this could mean they're doing something crazy on night 3 with, I don't know if you want to talk about this later.
Right, start connecting the dots. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that could be really cool if they end up doing a Dave and Friends kind of thing. But yeah, it was interesting to see one Some Devil song played, right? So I mean, that was pretty cool to see what they'll do,
Yeah, so one Some Devil song played. We'll talk more tomorrow and obviously on Sunday about some stars that could align from the Dave and Friends personnel there. And that is definitely something that people are hoping for. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll get more into that. But if we go back to last year's night one, you have 5 Some Devil songs. Night 1, 2023, and you juxtapose that with tonight, there's definitely something that could point to a lot of these songs being played. Trey Anastasio is going to be playing with Fish, and again, you have some other personnel, Tim Reynolds. And then by the poolside today, wasn't it today or was it yesterday?
It was today. I think so.
Solmon?
Yeah, so you have members of that band that also played with the Dave and Friends touring. Again, stay tuned. We'll have more on that tomorrow and Sunday. But there's definitely some things. Before we get to Mavis and Rab on the weight and kind of focus on that highlight, I saw Tim Reynolds for the second time with TR3. This past a couple weeks ago. And the video's kind of lagging right here. There we go. But the point is, Tim on acoustic guitar is so impressive. I mean, to even play Riders on the Storm on an acoustic guitar is an incredible feat, and to entertain people. Because it's typically that's where you have that electric guitar. But he's so talented on acoustic, and these shows. I have not been to Mexico, but I've seen Dave and Tim stateside. And these shows with Tim on acoustic really, to me, are so impressive as a guitar player. The stuff he does, the way he's able to make that acoustic dance and skip and hop and slide to the left and crisscross and everybody clap your hands, it is very hard. His electric guitar stuff is impressive too, but there's a lot of people on electric guitar that can just, if they're they're talented and they can just do a lot of crazy things. But on acoustic guitar, that's where you get that uniqueness of Tim. So that's something that I definitely just saw with TR3. So let's talk about the weight. What was it like to see Rab on stage? First time since 2017 that he's been on stage, and the first time ever with Dave and Tim. We'll go with you first, Shane.
That was incredible because he introduced Mavis, and Rab escorted her out on his arm. And then you noticed, at least I noticed, there was an extra mic stand next to Mavis's. So I thought, well, he just said Jason Isbell had to get a flight out of town, and Rab stayed. And I was like, oh my God. And he sounded amazing. His singing voice was fantastic. Crowd ate it up. Everybody, wow, did everybody love that? And my gosh, that song. Let's just, holy cow. Can we just mention for a second, Mavis Staples is 84 years old. I'll say that again for everybody who's kind of tipsy back on a Friday night. She's 84 years old, and her voice sounds so strong. Like, there were times you were just like, oh my God, listen to how good she sounds. So unbelievable pipes. I've seen her before open for other acts. She is a true legend. Just wow. Absolutely. So when she got up to her mic stand and then Rab stayed and Dave was like, you know, we're going to have them both stay and sing. We were like, holy cow. And it sounded so good. And he's loving that song now. He's really either connected with it or he just I mean, it's known that he loves the band. So, but yeah, boy, what a special moment that was.
Yes, and I saw Mavis at the Gorge back in 2021, I believe that was, and it just brought me back to gospel music in church. And she just is such a soulful and legendary singer.
Unbelievable.
From an era where your vocal skills and your ability to hold a crowd meant everything.
She started in the early 60s. I mean,
yes,
she started as the Staples sisters. It was her and her two sisters. She sang with every legend known to ever sing. She is a walking legend. It's unbelievable the music that she has sung and the people she has sung with. Unbelievable lady. Like, wow, so honored to have seen her a couple times now. Like, every time, she's incredible.
Yes. And another great example of just how Dave brings on legendary artists that may not have the mainstream appeal in 2024. Right? A lot of people weren't even born in the 60s that go to DMB shows because Dave himself was born in the late 60s. So the fact that he'll bring on someone like Mark Whitfield at MSG, Mark Whitfield has played with everyone too. And George Benson taught the game to him. You have Mavis Staples here. You have Jason Isbell, who started off with Drive-By Truckers and has done so many different things since then. And the way that they're able to bring these guests on are awesome. All right, let's go favorite song of the night. Kumi, what was your favorite song?
Oh, this is tough. Stone obviously is a favorite, but I really like Walk Around the Moon. I really like what they've been able to do with it acoustically. You know, I saw it last year in Mexico as well, and it was awesome. And I think it's really developing well. I wanted to hear the stop time intro with it, but maybe I'll wait the next time.
Yeah, so that was West Coast. That stop time intro started out in Highland, California at Yamava, and kind of had some legs there, but it's now seems like it hasn't made it over to 2024 just yet. But hey, we have a lot of time. No full band yet. We'll see. Shane, what was your favorite song of the night if you had to pick it?
I have to pick it. You know, I've seen Cortez with Warren in Homedale, New Jersey. And that was incredible. So I seen Jason tonight. That was incredible, but he didn't quite reach Warren's stature, let's just say. and I don't want to go with the weight because it's another cover, even though that just blew my mind. But if you're going to start the show with Big Eyed Fish, end the show with Two Step, yeah, it's solid. Which one should I pick? I mean, it was incredible all around. I'll take Big Eyed Fish to start the weekend.
I think that's a good one to go with, and to play it on the 12 string.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things about the 12 string guitar is in this era of the band, and in general, it's hard to mix guitar in with a bunch of other instruments. That's why I love the warehouse sessions with Carter and Dave. But that 12 string rock bridge acoustic guitar, standard tuning for Big Eye Fish. Now they have the drop D1 there, and the last stop is what, like is it a half step down? I can't remember. But those 12 strings sound so beautiful, but the problem is it's hard to cut through. So when Big Eye Fish, he's on that 12 string, and I've only heard clips from cell phone videos, but it sounds so great to hear all 12 of those strings ring out by themselves with just a little light acoustic guitar on top from Tim. This is why Dave and Tim is great, because you get to really appreciate the acoustic guitar parts that you don't fully hear in isolation when you go to a full band show. And those full band shows are amazing too. I love Big Eye Fish full band. I love Fish Tender full band. Big Eye Fish and Bartender were split up a little bit here. For today, they were misbehaving, and mom and dad had to separate them. But I just love that he brought out that 12 string first song of the night. We're not doing One Sweet World. We're not doing When the World Ends. Who could ever guess? Dave is opening with this song. It's no Big Eye Fish, son. We ain't playing. So
and like I
think
said, they came out, looked like they were amped to play, and yeah, and what a great start to the show.
That was amazing. Like, that's the first time ever, right, that Big Eyed Fish has been played by Dave and Tim? That's pretty special, I think.
Yep. First time it's been played by Dave. Oh, no. First time since 03, it says here. But I think it's the first time it's opened with Dave and Tim there, because that's a unique thing. And that's what's cool about this. Like, you would think, okay, Bartender's probably the most likely opener. They've opened with Bartender. DMB 2 sets started with Dave and Tim Bartender opener. Hartford, I remember that. And I've seen it as an opener, Dave and Tim at Sound on Sound. Like, I love how that thing is put to the 8 spot, and then Big Eye Fish opens, and the set list writing with Dave and Tim is just, there seems to be more freedom and fun when it's just two minds that have to have everything down versus the full band. Again, the full band's great, but this is just another side of these artists, another way to appreciate them. It's like in hockey, the 3-on-3 overtime. You go from 5 skaters on each side to 3-on-3, and it's a whole different game in that overtime, and you get to see a different skill set. And that's what you're seeing with Dave and Tim. It's just a different skill set, and that's how you can see more of their versatility. Let's get over to posters here. So let's start off. I mean, obviously, this is the first one. Just quick reaction here to this poster. This is for the entire weekend, and it is by Jimbo Phillips. First, Shane, what'd you think of this full weekend poster?
I liked it, but I have to throw my opinion out there. It's overkill. We don't need a weekend poster. We don't need a triptych. We don't need 3 dailies. 7 posters for 3 shows is nothing more than a money grab in my eye. That's all I can say about it. Like, this is new. We didn't have weekends and trips, and it's not necessary. But I bought it. Hello, got a foil. So,
bruh.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I like it. The foil looks sharp.
So Kumi, what'd you think about this? Do you think it's overkill to have a weekend poster on top of the triptych and the nightly ones?
It might be, but DMB fans are gonna buy it, and I got it as well. I got the foil as well, and I like it. It's a cool poster. I mean, it really outlines a lot of cool things about Mexico. Like, you can see the Chichen Itza back there, and you got the it's really that poster looks like Mexico. So just I think it's a cool additional thing to put up on the wall somewhere.
Yeah. And what's interesting about Dave and Tim posters for Mexico is you may have some fans that like these posters that are stateside that couldn't make it. But we've seen some of these posters chill on the warehouse site, the regular Music Today site. Some, not all. But some of them actually chill on the site for a while. So I'm interested to see how many were issued out, how many go up on the website after. There seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, did anything sell out? A non-foil, just forget the foils, like the regular editions. Anything sell out?
I think the regular edition was 550, run up 550. I don't know if it sold out or not. My
Okay.
one of the people I'm staying with, he got it at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, so it was available then.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, we've had some, like I think of the Slater one. There's some really there's ones that have sold out, but there's also, because you have so many different variations now, a weekend poster, a triptych, and this for Mexico specific. I'm interested to see how these sell, and if there are some chilling on the warehouse store for a couple of years, doing circles. So we have, just to put context in this. This is tonight's poster. Now the studio is F4D Studios, but the artist is Pedro Correa. Kumi, what'd you think of this poster?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely unique. It wasn't like my favorite, but it wasn't my least favorite. It was solid. I did end up getting it as well. I got a foil as well with this one.
All right, and Shane, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was all right. Angie liked it more than I did, I would say, and yeah, so I got it as well. I got a foil.
And what I think this is another case for me to have F4D Studios in heavy rotation. I mentioned that a lot last year. It's not a knock on Methane. Methane's like the veteran who has to come off the bench, right? Carmelo Anthony had to come off the bench to end his career. Russell Westbrook, I just saw the Heat play the Clippers down in Miami a couple weeks ago. Vacation Vids 34. And Russell Westbrook is coming off the bench, right? He's still a legend. Like, he's still a legend for his era, but he had to come off the bench for that Clippers team. And I think that the starter should be F4D Studios as far as a studio that gets a bunch of prints. This is not a terrible poster. It is not one of the best posters ever, but I really like how F4D is cranking out these posters that have, to me, interest. If I was at this show, I would have got this, and I can be picky. And I like how it's not really goofy. I think I always say some of these posters, in my personal taste, are too weird and too odd. We'll get to Mazda in a second, but I do like how I like how it looks. It's different. It's got the ocean vibes here. It feels like Cancun and the history of the reefs and the civilizations that were taken over by Europeans. So I think this is a great start, and another thing to say, hey, F4D needs to get more things in rotation. There are these creative, fresh young minds of this studio for the DMB theater. That is, they're fresh for this specific fan base. More posters. Let's get over to the triptych here. So, Kumi, what'd you think of this triptych reveal? Obviously, only one panel was sold tonight. They did not let you get that 3-panel advance like previous Mexico years.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really like the color. I like how it's like kind of like a Poseidon themed as well. I mean, Shane actually said that to me. I stole that from him earlier because we were in line together, and it's a pretty cool poster. I like the first and second frame a lot. The third frame's okay as well, and I just think it's kind of different, so I appreciate it.
Shane, what'd you think?
I'm all over it. I love it. Yeah, I can't wait for the next 2 panels. I got the first panel foil, so now I'm
stuck to
it. Now I'm hooked. I can't get mixed max panels, right? I mean, I gotta get in line early tomorrow and make sure I get another foil. So it'll look amazing once it's framed up and I post it. So yeah, I'm excited that this year's trip is I want to say put more thought into, because I don't know, last couple of years I've gotten them, but none of them have really been like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, and one of those triptychs was collecting dust. It's from a couple years ago. It's still on the warehouse website. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I was like, if you ever you think you failed at life or feeling lonely, just remember this triptych is still in the warehouse site. Now, what I'll say with Mazda is, again, I don't like some of the oddball triptychs. I think you can have one night of Mazda at an Alpine here and there, and I think he does good. I think he's been to Fiddlers, right? He's at a Fiddlers. Sure.
I'm not sure.
Maybe not, but I guess the point is this is the triptych from the Gorge. And my issue with this triptych was that this is not what I want to bring back from the Gorge. I don't want a bunch of mushrooms, and I get this would be a great one night theme. I don't want the mushrooms and slugs or whatever, or was that snail? Let me be careful. So I don't want this to walking back from the Gorge. I'll take this one night at another venue, but this is it needs to be more serious. Now, the triptych from the Gorge this past year was awesome. You had those ladies, 3 across, super awesome detail and things like that. That's what I want from the Gorge. This one right here, what I like about it is he still has his style, his flair of creativity, uniqueness. You have the greens in underneath the ocean, and you have the Mayan kind of temples there, and you still have this scuba diver with the flashlight, just like you have people searching around and roving and alien-like things searching, but you have more realism to this underwater world, and you have a guitar buried into the bottom of the ocean. And this has been done before. We saw a couple years ago at MSG, you had some guitars underwater, but I like this approach that Mazda did. This feels D&B. And I think this is a great poster to balance out his personal touch with a little bit more realism here, and a little more just focus on not being too goofy for a triptych. Again, the key is it's a triptych. You got to have a little bit more epicness to it, not goofiness there. So I thought this was a step in the right direction for that. So let's stay tuned. We'll check back with you guys if you're able to both come back. One thing I want to put up here is the Sun Devil deep cuts, because we're going to be seeing if they bring some of these back. And let me just pull this up here. Give me one moment and we'll get to the slideshow. All right. Oops. You're supposed to see the other one. So, that did not work out. Let's see if we can get it over here. Okay. But this essentially is the graphic. We'll just keep it right here. These are some songs that you don't see full band. Some of them, like Dodo, have never been played full band. But keep an eye out, folks, for these songs. Little Thing, you got a couple plays there since 2017 in Mexico. Up and Away played once in 2022. Dodo 3 times in Mexico. Trouble 3 times in Mexico. And then Too High has 2 of these. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if people pop on here from the Dave and Friends world that are allegedly nearby or could be en route or in Mexico. And we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts, Kumi?
I mean, it was just an awesome show. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have for us in store tomorrow and Sunday. And yeah, thanks for having me on, Marcus.
All right. Appreciate you being on. Have a wonderful night. And Shane, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just think everybody's probably day worn after a really warm day and a fire show tonight. So just looking forward to tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. And thanks for having me on.
All right. You guys take care. Have a wonderful night and get some rest, because before you know it, it'll be the morning. Peace.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Carry
Marcus.
on.
Good night.
All right. So we're gonna take them off here. But thank you to Kumi and Mile High Dad. Great to have them both on at the same time. And someone asked, "Is there a taper?" Yes, and I'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second about the taping situation. But this thing was done like the fact that we have a taper here. I got to give props to the taper community and to my boy Zach, because this was without him, we don't have any sort of taping gear in Mexico. So thank you to Zach S, who made this thing happen. Now, as you probably are watching now, you know there's no Sirius XM stream. Last year, they did play all 3 nights in March. So you had March 10th, March 17th, and March 24th. That were Friday night concert series shows on Sirius XM. They played each night in consecutive weeks. So stay tuned for that. But as far as the taping situation, here is what happened. Zach had done Mexico for the last couple of years. This trip takes a lot of vacation time and is also not cheap. Zach was not able to make Mexico as a taper who is skilled and really been holding it down in this post-Roy era. Zach is one of the most important tapers and organizers that came in the post-Roy era. But Zach has a taping rig that he was able to get to a fan. And this fan is not obviously a taper that does a bunch of work taping shows left and right. But he volunteered time out of his vacation out here to see Dave and Tim, to not only have the rig with him, but he had to take this rig through customs. And then he's got to take it back. And so this is, again, this community never ceased to amaze me as far as what can be done. But the plan is to tape all 3 nights. And then what I'll say is, please have patience. It's not going to be ready tonight. It's not going to be ready on Sunday. None of the shows are going to be up, to my knowledge, this weekend, because the taping gear is going to come back. We'll have a taper. I think Zach's going to be doing it, where he's going to get everything right for the audio levels, things like that. So you get something that is fine tuned by one of the pros in the taper community. So you're gonna just stay tuned. We should have tapes from those. And again, Sirius XM streams, I would expect them. Nothing's guaranteed. I would assume at this point is a couple of things with Sirius XM streams. Dave and Tim in Mexico will never be live at this time. Again, who knows? Things could change. Every Friday night show, full band, should be live streamed. That's my understanding. MSG was an outlier. There's many reasons possibly why, but I think that was an outlier. So I think one of the things, and I don't know if there's reasons for this. Maybe it's a strategy by like radio. I would love to hear advance announcements just to confirm, because we never know. We can assume left and right, but sometimes, listen, we were supposed to get MSG night 1 as a replay, like even though it wasn't live stream, it was supposed to become live, and all of a sudden we get MSG night 2. Things change, but it would be nice to have some announcements. Hey, Sirius XM should have some advanced marketing of these Friday night concert series. Even that's how I feel, is that it should be something that is announced in advance and promoted. But again, it could just be a strategy, and if that's the business model, that's the business model. But we're blessed to have what we have from Sirius XM. Just remember, before this, we didn't have so many shows that we could get at a soundboard level. And nonetheless, I will say the taper audios is incredible as well. I mean, even doing the SPAC night, the MSG Night 2 show that was on Sirius XM, Scott Brown's audio is And there was a couple other tapers. I haven't seen some of the other tapes. I didn't see them up, and that's fine. But the audio from Scott Brown was incredible. So the taper audio, you could argue, rivals some nights of Sirius XM, but we have two options. And Sirius XM is very convenient for fans to access and feel like we're all listening together. And Cooper, yeah, I'll be on tomorrow and I'll be on Sunday. I'm here all weekend long. All right. But yeah, so the tapings there, Couch Tour had some stuff from what I heard tonight. I think someone was streaming from the hotel room. What's cool is some of these rooms, you could actually see the whole concert from the room. Now you're high up, but honestly, it's a nice view. I mean, I don't, again, I'm working on trying to get access to the Couch Tour. That 99.9% of y'all should be able to have access to the D&B Couch Tour. Just go D&B Couch Tour. And they had a couple different streams going at the same time. And I'm sure there'll be some stuff on YouTube as well. So those are some options. And then it's funny, Rob, I was telling people, hey, check out his Instagram, but he actually can't. He was on stage. So he couldn't film himself on stage. Or he could have, but that would have been kind of crazy. So, I mean, he didn't go live then, but he did go live earlier in the show. So you have a couple different ways. My Instagram breaks that down. And I get a lot of you guys are busy. You have a lot of stuff to do and you don't know, hey, is it Sirius XM? Is it tapers? Is it this? Is it that? So I just wanted to update you on that. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. We'll see my guess would be if there are special guests in higher level, you'll probably get them on Sunday. Like it's going to be the Sunday show, especially with Trey and Estagio being down there for Fish. So we'll see there. Another thing I saw, Summerfest, the War and Treaty are going to be at Summerfest on Thursday, the Thursday before Alpine. I wonder if they're going to be a possible like first opener of the two openers. They did come down to Mexico, but I just noticed that because I'm planning my trip to Alpine, got tickets for both nights through the warehouse. And yeah. So I wanted to take a quick look at a game that we had on Twitter. And this is really, let's see, I think it's Ryan Bradley. And let me know in the comments what you guys would say. Put this in the comments. And I want to give him credit. Ryan Bradley started this joint off. So it was a song you want to hear at the show. A song you absolutely don't want to hear at a show, and what's your chase song. So one song you must hear, one song you absolutely don't want to hear, and a song that's your chase song. This is a fun thing. Put it in the comments. Let me know if you want to explain your reasoning. But put it in the comments after this show ends, or even now. You may be able to put, no, actually, you may have to wait. But after the show ends, if you're watching the replay, put this in. So The Stone was the song that he wants to hear at every show. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I Did It is a song he absolutely doesn't want to hear in Kill the King. Now, I did quote, let's see what, oops. So there was a bunch of people answered this. These were mine. The must hear for me is clearly The Stone. That's just my favorite song. It's my favorite opener. That's realistic. I mean, they're not going to open up with some of the stuff I really would love, but it'd be cool. But Stone still is just the most consistent thing. The song I don't want to hear is Jimmy Thing. Not a knock to the studio version of that song or to any of the ones in the 90s, which have a Dave acoustic that seem to have more focus. I just have heard this song so much in the post-Roy era, the only era I've actually seen this band, that I don't find it. Now, there's a lot of talented stuff going on, but I just think it takes up the most time. Like, if you don't like You and Me, or you don't like By You or Can't Stop, especially You and Me and Can't Stop, those are two songs I don't like. those songs are over before you know it. But Jimmy Thing takes up 15 minutes of a show that you could otherwise put towards other stuff. That's just how I feel about it. And one of the best things about my trip out to Mohegan Night 1 and 2 and MSG Night 2 for the fall tours, there were no Jimmy things that I heard. I avoided all of them. And it was awesome because there were other great things I heard. So Jimmy Thing is my pick just because it is too long and I think it's too stale. I would love a Dave acoustic jam. I think the current band has so much horn inclusion in all different parts of songs that I don't need a whole Jimmy thing. Right? I don't need that. But again, they're talented. People love it. It's a good song to grab some food or drink. It is what it is. But that was my thing. And then the song I'm chasing, Full Number 34. I did hear it in 2013 Hartford Night 1. It was teased on the 12 string Behind the Curtain. Some fans want to bring back the curtain. Let me know in the chat or the comments if you want to bring back the curtain. They did it for a couple of years for night ones of a 2-night stand or single nights. They would have a curtain. The band would noodle around on their instruments sometimes like they did. Like Dave was playing number 34 on his 12 string before JTR. Do you want the curtain to come back? That's interesting. But there's a bunch of different ones. Maybe we'll go through some throughout this weekend. Terrence said his must hear is Crush. Doesn't want to hear You and Me and Chasing the Dreaming Tree. So it's interesting what people are chasing. Like some people had got 34, and at the Gorge, I went to the Gorge hoping to get a 34 and didn't. September is obviously Leroy's birthday is in September, so there's always a chance in that West Coast run in September that you may get a number 34 out there. Shout out to Samurai Apocalypse. She's in Connecticut too. Wants to hear Minaret at every show, and she doesn't want to hear Bayou, and she's chasing Shotgun. Hope you get it. That's Heather. Heather, I hope you get it. Hope all is well there. Happy birthday to Two Step. Let me just say that real quick. We'll get to her profile. Two Step DNB. One thing that's awesome about this community, like some people think, oh, it's like you have to be an OG fan to like really be connected or know this whole thing, and that's cap because Two Step literally started like really focusing on going to DNB shows in I think 2022, and I met her, right? And no one really knew who she was back then, but Two Step, it's her birthday today, and she had a polka dot. She had the polka dot dress on today, but Two Step, she brings so much positive joy and happiness to this community. And in the last 2 years, like everyone knows her now, and rightfully so. She's friendly, kind, considerate. Her and her husband travel out to shows, and her husband actually, as he's from the Philly area, I was talking to him at SPAC. He's been going to shows since for 20 years. But the awesome thing is that she's been able to make connections and really be a big part of this community. She had some videos today right close to the rail. But this is something just to show it doesn't matter when you join join the obsessive, like the mode where you really want to go to a bunch of DNB shows. You could start this year. You could have been 5 years into this. You could be 21, 41, 61. It doesn't matter if you have great acts of kindness. If you are considerate of others, you can make friends very fast in this community. And she's just a great representation of what it means to be a Dave Matthews Band fan who's kind, respectful, and brings just a great energy and joy and jokes into these pre-show activities, the regular pit activity, the post-show experiences and hangouts. She's trying to go to as many shows as she can. And happy birthday to Two Steph. All right, the big elephant in the room is what? This is tour season. Tour ticket sale. Ticket sales. Oh, this is funny though. when a set list doesn't have Satellite, You and Me, buy your Jimmy thing in it. There you go. But ticket on sale day here, and obviously you're gonna have a large string of emotions. People happy, sad. It seemed like Guilford, a bunch of people got pits for Guilford. Don't go to Guilford; it's the worst venue ever. Don't go. But it seemed like people had some good success with some shows, and some people who felt like the Ticketmaster odds weren't in their favor did get tickets today. But what I'll say is this: here's the reality. We live in times where making ends meet in America and actually having money to have a house and to have a car is getting extremely difficult. And so I empathize with people who, because of the price hikes and because of what's going on economically in their household or in their neighborhood, the taxes, the insurance. If you're in Florida, your insurance rates are going up, car insurance and homeowners insurance. People are in certain neighborhoods, they won't, like regular insurance companies, none of them will insure it. They have to go to the state, right? You live in LA or the West Coast and literally rent is $1 bajillion. It's not sustainable. You live in the Midwest, there's flooding, there's droughts. You live in Vegas, you don't have water in Vegas. They're running out of water. It's tough economically across the country. And what does that mean? People can't afford to go to these shows. There are people that just are going to have to skip out this year on a show because money is tight, or they used to be able to travel 15 years ago and go to 5 or 6 shows a year and get some cheap hotels and just kind of tour and camp and do different things. And you can't do that. And this thing called music is special. So I empathize with people who are struggling right now and financially can't make it to shows. I empathize with people who didn't get tickets they hoped for in the on sale, in the warehouse. I really understand it's tough right now. And it's even to the point where, listen, I'm trying to figure my future out for past this tour about how many shows I'm going to go to a year, because listen, these tickets are getting higher. And listen, I got goals for my life. I'm trying to do things for my wife and family. And things are expensive outside of tickets, let alone the cost to travel and to go to these shows, which is a luxury, which is a blessing. But that's the first thing I think. We have to realize that in some ways we are blessed. You look at Pearl Jam, people are like, oh, well, Pearl Jam has the 10 Club and all. Bruh, Pearl Jam does not tour enough. Their tickets are a little bit more than D&B, and actually their fan club. If we go to Pearl Jam 10 Club, let me just show you what happened with Pearl Jam. Because as much as the 10 Club was the gold standard for ticketing, this is the map for MSG, right? Let's pull this up here. If you're a Pearl Jam 10 Club member, the upper level seats are 175 and the lowers are 185, and you can't, all that grayed out area, there's been warehouse tickets that I just was in section 105, which is now not available to Pearl Jam fans. I was there for MSG night too. And I know people who were closer to the stage or side stage. So as much as it's tough right now as a D&B fan, if you live in the Northeast, your only options are Fenway or Madison Square Garden. Now, Philly, you could drive to Philly or fly out somewhere. But like if you're in Connecticut, New Hampshire, Boston, Southern Connecticut, upstate New York, like you have a couple options where at least for the warehouse, you could get tickets all in these gray areas. So D&B, one thing that they do that's great is they actually fulfill the demand of their fan base. They tour every year, whereas Pearl Jam doesn't tour hardly, and then they cancel shows, and then they like the ticket prices are more. So it's tough across the board. The cost for these shows to run, the cost to pay the labor, which people deserve, to be paid right. That work hard to get these things together, but it's tough. I can empathize with a lot of the struggles of different things as far as trying to get tickets, but it could be worse for D&B. And the other thing is you have to understand there's two different things. All right, is it, you have people are mad, oh, spec, there's no ticket. This, like, certain venues are gonna be higher demand than others. And if you live somewhere like the Northeast, especially where I think most of the complaining is happening, it's not happening like people in the Midwest and the West, they're just happy that there's a show in Deer Creek. But it seems like the people that complain the most are in my area. Oh, I'm in Hartford. There's no Hartford. What am I gonna do, bruh? There's Jones Beach, right? There's, don't go to Guilford, but there's Mansfield, right? You could get in the SPAC lawn, like if you really, I mean, or you could do Homedale. Aren't they doing Forest Hills this year? Like, there's so many different shows within 2 or 3 hours of where you live, and there's still tickets available. Like, so wait it out, be patient. If you got what you got, great. If not, keep checking back. Check Ticketmaster to see what pops up. Things pop up, orders get canceled. People check cash or trade, check other options, and things will be available. People always sell tickets. People always sell tickets to these shows last minute. They can't make a trip. So there will be stuff that pops up, especially for the gores. People are like, oh, I didn't get ticket. Bruh, there'll be tons of lawn tickets available for the gorge. Camping will be available. People will back out of RVs and hotels. Just stay in tune. Stay in tune. All right, we're gonna close out this show with the last stop. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll talk about the show. We'll also talk Rock and Roll Hall of Fame really briefly tomorrow, along with some other topics. But I'm gonna close out the show with the last stop from MSG Night 2 2023. By the way, folks, I have completed every single show I went to in 2023, plus Gorge Night 1. There are multi-cams here. These are shows where, outside of Gorge Night 1, which I didn't realize someone was putting together a pro-level multi-cam, the other shows, there just wasn't enough content for the people who do these multi-cams the best to put together shows. I checked in, I reached out to people to see, hey, are you guys doing this type of multi-cam? Okay, if not, I'm gonna try to put something together. And there, thus we got the SPAC Night 1, SPAC Night 2, Mansfield, Hartford, Guilford Nights 1 and 2, Mohegan Night 1 and 2, and then MSG Night 2. We're all put together multi-cams. Thank you to everyone who I just was talking into the vacuum. What up? I'm gonna message him tomorrow because I connected with him. He had some great video that's on this video, but it's nice to kind of really, I've been able to meet some of the people who upload these videos that I take from YouTube, and then I've connected with people who send me videos offline. And it's been great to just meet some of them, and this community is awesome. So made some of the multi-cams, learned a lot, had some good moments and bad moments, but this is one snippet of a video that's on my YouTube channel under the videos tab. And there's a playlist that you'll see more about in this actual clip that'll show more of how you can access the playlist of all the videos I put out last year. And the goal is to keep trying to do this and see where it goes. If there's enough video to try to put out these multi-cams, add the video. And again, I will always defer to the Copper Pots and everyone else. If they are putting something out, I'm gonna let them do their thing because my skill level is very, very basic at this time. But I wanted to try to get these videos where, hey, no one else is doing this. Let's get it up there. Let's have something you guys can watch and enjoy. And lo and behold, a lot of people have been watching these videos, and I appreciate it. So, all right. Close out, half stop, last stop from MSG. We're going to play it right now, and I hope you guys enjoy. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace. It's coming. Trust me, it's coming. It's gotta put a little delay time. Here we go.
Thank you very much, everybody. Y'all take care. Thank you for being here with us.
That was the last stop from the 2023 MSG Night 2 Multicam plus Taper audio video. Go to YouTube Concert Viz 34, select playlist, and you'll see a playlist that says Concert Viz 2023 Full Shows. From there, you can see the bevy of multicam plus Taper audio videos I put together for 2023. The top videos of this playlist are the ones with the best audio and video. The ones at the bottom, they aight, and you should still watch them. But the ones at the top, they just lit it. YouTube Concert Viz 34, your place for Taper audio plus multicam videos, plus post-show streams and more. It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Peace.